Hello everyone and welcome to the second round of the 2019.1 South African simV8 series, this time around at Donington. Very much looking forward to this, to a great race this evening. My name is Jason Holden-Jones. I'll be flying solo in the commentary booth this evening as you watch Scott Pienaar in the Synergy Samurai Holden, who was first out of the pits and has already started his first flying lap. Let's see what the Synergy driver can do in the 27 Holden. Oh, and as I say that, wow, the commentator's curse is going to be strong this evening. As yeah, so that's the end of Scott Pienaar's first attempt, and we're going to have a look at Leandro Sparks in the red line 6 car. And the car's really battling through the final two corners of this flowing circuit, Donington really, but the two corners, the Melbourne hairpin turn 10 and Goddard's turn 11 is proving really tricky in these very powerful V8 supercar cars. And Leandro Sparks is he's started flying lap now. Was Leslie Oliphant who did it first, the first flying lap, did 28.041, but it is Jim Clark for Echo Racing. He is in provisional pole position, and Jim Clark the fastest of the drivers in the final practice session, and possibly looking to be the favorite this evening. Of course, coming second in the first race at Imola, narrowly losing out to Jason Absmeyer, who took a fantastic victory. But there was under a lot of pressure from Jim Clark throughout that race. And, Jim Clark, I think he did a 27.3 in the final practice, a bit off that time for the moment, 6 tenths off. They're not going to improve this time round either. There's the Oliphant is on an outlap again. Christopher Langeveld now, he is not looking to improve this lap either. Timothy Haynes, who was looking very quick throughout the hot lap division qualifying throughout the weekend. He was actually second fastest behind Bashir Jadwat. And Timothy Haynes looking could be very strong this evening. Could be certainly one to watch. Big shout out to all our YouTube live viewers. Welcome everybody. Timothy Haynes will not improve position, improves his time. It is a 28.084, just 2/100ths of a second behind Christopher Langeveld. And Bashir Jadwat now, he is in 5th position. He's got a bit of traffic in front of him. Is in the form of Daniel Haynes in the Volante Racing Holden. Just under 10 minutes remaining in the session before we get the 59 lap race underway. Daniel Haynes making way for Bashir Jadwat on his flying lap. Jadwat's in fact on an outlap, I think. Let's see if Leslie Oliphant will improve this lap. Oh, big slide by the big Ford. And the 187 secured RPM entry. Oliphant looking to improve by around 2/10ths of a second. Should give him provisional pole if he can keep this up. Loses a bit of time there, unfortunately. Goes through McLean's. Coppice, we go on to the Star Ski Straight on the run to the S's, turn 9. Oliphant now improving nicely, but Clark's improved as well. Clark now got half a second on Oliphant. So Mr. Oliphant is coming up with something special now if he is to challenge Clark for pole position. Oh, big slide there for the Ford again. Losing our time, unfortunately. We now watch Timothy Haynes looking for 0.2 of a second. That should give him what? This could give him second position if he keeps this up. Oh, as I said, it's lost out through the S's, unfortunately, but still a 10th up. Just over 5 minutes remaining now. Oh, and big slide there for Timothy Haynes, and that's put paid to his attempt. Leandre Sparks now up into 7th position for red line. But big news now is Bashir Jadwat's moved up to 2nd with a 27.978. But wow, no one near Jim Clark whatsoever. 7/10 that gap between 1st and 2nd position, and it's all pretty tight from 2nd all the way down really the rest of the field. And we've got everybody on the server. He should be on the server, so that's fantastic to see. All 21 drivers have joined the server. Oliphant now is in the pits again. Christopher Langeveld now improving ever so slightly from 4th position. And he's a bit spot square with his best delta. Car's really battling through this corner, really on entry under braking. With the car slightly off balance, and we've seen the front left tyre locking up pretty often. Just about every driver has done that. So Langeveld now abandons that lap. Jadwat now improving slightly. Stay with the 80k Arena backed Ghostworks entry. Obviously that lock up again. Half a 10th now for Jadwat, but he needs 7/10 of a second. He's nowhere near that, unfortunately, but I think he's trying to defend his 2nd position for what's about to come. And Jadwat abandons that lap too. Clark is on an out lap. Oliphant staying in the pits, it seems. Or big slide for Langeveld out of turn 1. That's Timothy Haynes doing. He's on an outlap 2. Devon Lisher looking strong in 6th position too. He's on an outlap. Leandre Sparks in the pits. Absmai now. He's about to start a flying lap. Stick with him for a little bit. Our winner from round 1, of course, at Imola. It's slightly off the pace this evening, it would seem. Mark Hennebury now improves to 11th. Nick Hodgson to 17th now. And Absmai now looking for 0.3 of a second. What will that do for him? This could give him 6th position. Devon Lisher now under pressure. But Absmai just losing out through that last corner. Coppice corner. Thread the needle through the S's. Lost a bit of time, unfortunately. Daniel Haynes now up into 7th for Volunteer Racing. Oh, well, big improvement here for Absmai now. Almost 0.4 of a second. That is a good exit out of this corner. Oh, he's lost all his good time, has he? Now it's gaining it again. And Jason Absmai will go to 6th position. 28.184 for him. Devon Lisher now improves to 28.0, so he goes to 5th, does Lisher. Clark is going to improve slightly. Jadwat now, his last attempt, what can he do? He's looking for some magic here. Oh, big wobble out of the corner, but he's improving. 0.2 now, he needs another 0.5, half a second. Still up is Judd Watts. As I say, it's more like he's defending a second position really than attacking for provisional pole. Oh, much better through there this time for Judd Watt. Now almost 0.4 of a second. But understeer there for the Holden, but he gets on top of it. 0.4 of a second now for Judd Watt. Big improvement again for Judd Watt. Gets great drive out of the Melbourne hairpin. Through Goddard's now. Oh, he's going to improve by half a second. Demolition goes to second with a 27.934, but Judd Watt betters that with a 27.466. So Judd Watt successfully defends his second position, but nowhere near Clark. Or 2/10 from Clark. It's a big improvement. But it is that man there, Jim Clark, who will start from pole position for Echo Racing. In the 117 Holden. Let's see if anyone else is going to improve, but I think everybody else is in the pits, if I'm not mistaken. Let's just go through the order here. Chris Heineke, no, will not improve. Heineke's in, and everybody's in the pits as well. But we're going to take a short break and we'll be back for the formation lap. Welcome back to Donington, and we've got the formation lap underway. Jim Clark, of course, leading the field in pole position, weaving side to side, trying to get some heat into those tyres and brakes. And we had, I think it was Brent Lindsay Ray who had to start from the pit lane, so an issue there for Lindsay Ray in the Echo car. But his teammate Jim Clark there has got everything under control. So we've got Echo Racing leading the way ahead of Squadra Ghostworks. Then we have the Redline Racing car of Devon Lisher, and then secured RPM in 4th position with Oliphant. And Redline again with Christopher Langeveld in 5th position. So interesting to see Devon Lisher qualifying ahead of Christopher Langeveld, his teammate. It's not often that we see that. So I think we can expect something special here from Lisher. Let's see if we can get after Judd Watt and Lisher. More importantly, if Judd Watt can get after Clark before he disappears up the road and makes it boring very quickly. Let's see what happens. Of course, this race is 59 laps, and every driver must do at least one pit stop. And we should have around an hour and a half of racing this evening. Clark now bunches the field to get this race underway. We are approaching the speeder point, which is from the exit of the last corner, Goddard's corner, at this fantastic Donington circuit. So Jim Clark now will get this race underway. Now off he goes. Oh, big wobble there for the Echo Holden. Bashir what there? I think eyeing an opportunity, tries to spread out, but no. Jim Clark's got it under control. And into red gate we go for the first time. And whatever make a mistake. Oh, mistake there from Lisha. Gets it all sideways. Well, he hangs on to it though. And will not lose a position to Leslie Oliphant for the moment. So perhaps some nerves there. And we see Langeveld again also understeering as well. But it keeps under control. So some nerves here from the two red line cars. But not losing our position, amazingly enough. This is a very difficult corner in these cars. It seems to do pretty well. We're going to change of position here. We've got Pinar's got Alfie van Sale for 18th position, so change at the back. We've got Robert Walker, first time ever in a Division 1 race for him. Fantastic result in the hot lap division qualifying to see him in this race. But we go back to the front now. Jim Clark still got everything under control. Bit of a snatch of the front rear brake into the hairpin. Lindsay Ray's past Walker now for 20th position. That was mine now under pressure from Daniel Haynes. It's Secured RPM versus Volante Racing. Very close racing so far. Everyone's still very close together. Great to see. Clark now has extended that lead to a second already. Christopher Langeveld now in the red line car, and attack from Timothy Haynes. Delport. Oh, someone's going off in the background. Who's that? It's Ferrant. Wesley Ferrant in one of the Echo cars. Gets it wrong into the S's, but recovers without damage, thankfully. So we've got 3 Echo cars at the back and 1 leading. Scheduled what? A bit quicker than Clark than last time around. 2/10 quicker, in fact. Delport has got Kelvin S. These are the 3 red line cars running together. That was a team order. Peter Kelvin, the team principal, I think he moved aside for these 2 drivers to go past. So Kelvin's perhaps not feeling too confident. He will play a rear gunner and try keep this man Nick Hodgson out of away from them if he can. Oh, here comes Hodgson. Oh, rubbing his racing. I think he made contact with Kelnis. Yes, he did. Kelnis runs wide. So does Pinar in the background. But all's well. As Kelnis brings the car back under control onto the black stuff. Alfie van Sel now has lost out to Wesley Ferrant. Wesley Ferrant now having a go at Skalk Pinar. On board Wesley Ferrant, well, battling to keep the power down. Down Starsky straight now towards the chicane. Very aggressive from Ferrant. He means business. He wants past as soon as possible. Oh, they're not in a grip from the Echo car. So we see Alfie under pressure from Lindsay Ray up the inside. Nice move. Can he come back at him now? Here comes Alfie. No. can't. So Lindsay cements that 19th position after starting from the back in 21st. No contact here between these two. Side by side down the main straight. Pino trying to come back at front as well. Lindsay Ray gets past Fansel. Fansel's trying to come back at him now. Correct contest this is at the back of the field. Oh, and look. Oh, Alfie Fansel nearly gets it wrong. Keeps it on the black stuff, however. The Timothy Haynes, Jason Absmeyer battle now for 6th position. Absmeyer has moved away from Daniel Haynes now towards Timothy Haynes, his brother. Go back to the Lindsay Ray. Fansel battle now. So it's back past. Oh, and Lindsay Ray gets a big tank slapper. And this should allow Fansel through. Yes, he does come back at him. Back to the Absmeyer Timothy Haynes battle. And, Daniel Haynes, no, what's happened to Peter Kelness? Oh, it's gone off. And that is at, I think it's at turn 5. So it's unfortunate for Kelness in red line. We've lost one of the drivers as well. I think it is Lindsay Ray. No, Lindsay Ray's still on the server, but we've lost somebody. Timothy Haynes has got Absmeyer now too. Absmeyer a great driver that last corner. I think it's Haynes has taken that position away back from Absmeyer. Absmeyer now under attack now, on the attack. And on the outside goes Absmeyer, slight touch. Oh, and Timothy Haynes, big tank slapper. But somehow maintains position for now. On the run towards the old hairpin, turn 4. And then it is Timothy Haynes who keeps that 6th position for the moment, but for how long? Of course, those two battling out has brought Daniel Haynes into play now. So now it's a 3-way battle for 6th. It's gone board with Daniel Haynes. Oh, Absmeyer gets it wrong and a braking through the chicane. It hangs onto it. Oh, and Haynes again battling Timothy. Trying to get that power down. Absmeyer now running side by side with him. Absmeyer now positioning himself with a slingshot up the inside if he can. Oh, power steering on his way. There's Absmeyer. And Kevin Lawrence just mentioning he thinks it's Sean Lorio who's left the server, and yes, I think that's correct. So Lario's out. Go back to our race at the gym clock. Everything under control. But Bashir Jadwat still chasing 3 seconds behind, and Devon Lisher for company as well, just 1.2 seconds behind Jadwat. Timothy Haynes again under pressure from Jason Absmeyer. Stephen Sparks quite right. There were only 20 cars on the HRQ list for Division 1. However, Brent Lindsay Ray, as he came the top 3 in the Division 2 race in round 1, he did earn a qualifying spot for this race as well. So that's your 21st driver, Stephen. Got Alpha Vancel's put a move on Scott Pienaar, so that's a change for 16th position. Here comes Absmeyer again. Will he ever run up the inside into the hairpin? Oh, very aggressive there from Absmeyer. He's overdone it, in fact. It's a great fight this is, well. Sean Lario, unfortunately, suffering from network issues. His line has gone down. The hands now just has moved away from Absmeyer, the gap up to 0.8 of a second. Devon Lisher now is making inroads on Judd White. That gap down to a second now. Looking very comfortable, and as I said, it leaves the circuit momentarily. It gets it back under control. It doesn't need too much time to Jadwat. Great to see Lisher doing so well. And ahead of his teammate Christopher Langeveld. The Hugo de Wit Wesley Ferrand battle. This is for 13th. On board now with front. Divid with a much better exit. Look at Langenfeld in 4th position. And these three really starting to concertina up now. And it's Oliphant too under pressure from Timothy Haynes. Well, we see a change in position from red line. See what kind of team dynamic they've got going on. She gets the power down. The rear end of the Holden dancing around. Alicia not making way from Langenfeld. Oliphant under pressure from Timothy Haynes. RPM versus Ghostworks. Timothy Haynes very slow through the S's now. He's under pressure from Osma. I think Osma's got past him. Wow. So Osma ceases that opportunity. Let's see if Timothy Haynes can come back at him now. Timothy Haynes now leads his brother Daniel. And Langenfeld and Nisha swap positions for 3rd. Oh, contact. Oh, big slide. That was does so well to keep it pointing in the right direction. Wow. Timothy Haynes under pressure from Daniel Haynes. Holden-Jones has got Lindsay Ray for 18th. Now Langenfeld now is 2.4 seconds behind Judd Watt. Let's see if we can get that gap down. Timothy Haynes now coming back after Abismaya. Hodgson battling Pinar. Pinar is trying to get past Hodgson for 16th. Timothy Haynes with a look up the inside. Much better drive from Timothy Haynes. Starsky straight. Gap slowly coming down, but not enough for a challenge. On board now with Timothy Haynes. Timothy Haynes has moved away from his brother Daniel. Always Haynes. Trying to force the issue with Absmeyer. Alfie Van Zel now has dropped 2 positions. He's down to 17th now. Looks like an off there for Van Zel. Time to Daniel Haynes. He's off. Oh, big spin here. Looks like that's at Goddard's. Daniel Haynes now down to 11th. We've got someone waiting for him, it seems. Who is that? That is Leandro Sparks. Perhaps it was coming together there. So Leandro just waiting for him. So we want to see if drivers make an error and make contact with another car, that they wait for the other driver before they carry on to avoid any further penalty. Go back to the Absmeyer Timothy Haynes battle. It's Timothy Haynes now. Always got a good run on Absmeyer. In the slipstream he goes. Not close enough. Oh, he's trying to fake and move up the inside, trying to off-put Absmeyer. I don't think that will affect Absmeyer too much. These two, of course, trying to chase Sandesi Oliphant in 5th and the secured forward. Hands again. Dummy look up the inside. She forced Absmeyer somewhat defensive. Clark now leading by almost 10 seconds ahead of Judd Watt. Langerveld, in fact, taking a second out of Judd Watt over the last 6 laps or so. We could have a fight for second shortly. Daniel Haynes and Leandro Sparks again close together. Langerveld now just a second behind Judd Watt. Morant's got David for 13th position. Daniel Haynes has moved away from Leandro Sparks. Going to have the battle at the Absmeyer Timothy Haynes fight again. These two can't quite get away from each other. Jadwat Langevaart fight now. Very much closer together. Under a second now between these two. The fight for second. Of course, this is playing into Clark's hands perfectly, as he'll be able to get in further away if these two start battling it out. Downport's got Leandro Sparks. Leandro Sparks looks like he's had an off. Down to 12th he goes. Langevaart now just half a second behind Jadwat. Things heating up there for the battle for second. Let's just stay with these two for the moment. Oh no, this man's made a mistake, yeah. He's outbraked himself into the hairpin, but somehow comes ahead, still ahead of Timothy Haynes. Timothy Haynes dives up the inside. Absmeyer sees it coming. Defends well. On board with Timothy Haynes. Now on the run to McLean's. This is turn 7. A short straight. Oh, I was supposed to run wide. Surely Timothy Haynes is through now. Up the inside. Oh, and that was my swoops on the outside. Wow, great racing between these two. Through Cops now we go, and down the Starsky straight now towards the S's. Good run through here. Absmeyer again running wide. Lost quite a bit of time there. Here comes Haynes. Look up and move up the inside. No, he won't. Oh, Absmeyer going very defensive. Haynes short shifting through the corners, trying to get the power down. Langevaart now just 0.4 of a second behind Jadwat for second. Jadwat and Langevaart now. Lap 22 or 59. on, Jadwat battling it to get the power down. He's lost a bit of time to Langeveld. Langeveld now right with him. Lock up there from Jadwat again, running wide. Here comes Langeveld. Wow, that was close. No contact over. But the fight now for second is now truly on. Oh, and Langeveld made a mistake there. What's happened to... As Daniel Haynes puts a move on Hennebury and Leandre Sparks on Delport. Delport dropping down the order. Looks like he's recovering from an incident. Bit of damage to that Holden too. The gap to Clark is now stabilized to around 10 seconds. Clark's is managing his tyres, perhaps. Jadwat again wide. Oh, I think that's in fact his line through the corner. As these two approaching traffic, in fact, I thought that was Jim Clark for a second, but no, it's in fact Lindsay Ray in the Echo Ford who's ahead of these two. Got slightly excited there for a second, but no, it's not our race leader. Haynes now right with Asmai again. The battle for 6th rages on. Lindsay Ray gets well out of the way here. Good driving there by Lindsay Ray. Sees the leaders coming through and makes way for them, respecting those blue flags. Looks like everybody's trying to get to the halfway stage of the race to do their pit stop, making it a 1 pit stop. And doesn't look like anyone's trying the double pit stop strategy. These two power sliding their way out of the corner. Wow, great to watch. Jadwat slightly better through their corner this time round, however. Oh, as Lindsay Ray gets sort of sideways behind them. Oh, Jadwat's made a mistake. Surely Langeveld will find his way past. Will he not? Jadwat trying to go on the outside. Oh, side by side stuff. But no, Langeveld's through to second. And I think the tyres are dropping off pretty quickly now. Now, can Langeveld do anything about Clark for the remainder of this race? That's the big question now. Alfie van Zel makes way for the 2 as well. Good to see. That was mine now, and Timothy Haynes side by side into the hairpin. Asma gets it wide. Wow. Oh, and he's power slided into Timothy Haynes and turned him around. He's going to wait for him though. He's going to wait for him. Into the pits comes Jason Absmeyer for his pit stop. Has he got damage, I wonder? But Timothy Haynes gets released now into second. Hit that wall pretty hard, so I'm not quite sure how that Holden's holding up. Let's have a look. That's not too bad, judging by the steering wheel. He must be aware of the undercut from Absmeyer now, getting his pit stop done a bit earlier. Come out and fresher tyres earlier. Absmeyer now leaves the pits in 12th position. Our race leader Jim Clark, 13-second lead ahead of Christopher Langerfeld. There's some traffic that is in fact Scott Pinner in the Synergy Samurai Holden. Timothy Haynes now into the pits, I think covering off Absmeyer. Let's have a look here. Where is Jason Absmeyer? Oh, I think he's going to pass Timothy pretty easily. Yeah, Timothy Haynes leaves the pits now, but Absmeyer's already on the main straight, and that's what the undercut can do for you strategy-wise. Look at the difference. Absmeyer now well ahead of Timothy Haynes. Into 11th goes Absmeyer now. Daniel Haynes now under pressure from Mark Hennebury. Volunteer Racing leads Ghostworks. Jonathan Benz is pointing out there, perhaps Tim needs to repair damage, and that's where the time came from as well. Yeah, that's true as well. That could be. Chad Wagner started to claw his way back towards Langerfeld. A gap now just 0.6 of a second. Race leader now, lap 29 and 59. Approaching traffic in the form of Nick Hodgson. Currently in 15th position is Hodgson. Jackie Swanepoel now requests onboard lap with Jim Clark. I think we can make that happen. On board now with Jim Clark in the Echo Racing. Holden, our race leader. Slightly wider exit here. I'm going to just clip the apex as soon as possible. Get back on the power, straighten the car as quickly as possible. Now down the hill, down towards the old hairpin. Flat out, twisty section. With a nice calm entry, suggest the corner to the car, back onto the power as soon as possible. Let the car run wide there. Clark just avoiding Hodgson for the moment there, but he would have been on the curb on the outside on a normal lap. Clip the corner there, easy on the brakes, off the brakes, turn in. Should have balanced the car before turning in. Ride the curb on the left side, clip the apex, straighten the car, then back on the power. Hug the apex on the second apex, nicely done. Jim Clark down Starsky straight now on the approach to the S's. Straight lines the chicane as much as possible, does Clark. It'll be easy under braking now. Clark opts for an early turn in, lets the car run wide on exit, straightens the car nicely. Higher gear as well to avoid any wheel spin. Up the outside curb now, turn in nicely, straighten the car as much as possible now. Get back on the power. Into the pits we go now. Oh, Clark's just narrowly missing the tyre barrier there on the right side. Clark brings the car to a stop where he needs it to be. We've got a couple of other cars barreling into the pits now. Langerfeld, Judd Watt as well. Jim Clark now rejoins in second position behind Oliphant. Oliphant of course needs to do a pit stop still. Heineck into the pits, his teammate Hennebury also into the pits now. The cars into the pits now. Sparks, Hennebury, Heineke, Ferrant. Thomas Marco is back into fifth now behind Judd Watts, as he did his pit stop much earlier. There's Oliphant leader. That's until he does his pit stop. He's 3.8 seconds ahead of Clark. He's got David behind him. He's a lap behind him. Let's see how long Oliphant stays up before his pit stop. Langerfeld is 1.2 seconds ahead of Judd Watts. There's Oliphant coming now to do his pit stop. Let's see. No, he does not. He stays out. after the pit stop phase. Chris Heineke finds himself in front of Daniel Haynes. This is the battle for 7th. Now so close together now. Looks like most of the drivers on the soft tyre. I think it's just is that you off your front sail on the super soft. I cannot see what the front runners are running over. Heineke now has got traffic now. It's Brent Lindsay Ray in 19th and a lap down. As well to let these two past. Oliphant trying to go as long as possible. It's 1.7 seconds now ahead of Clark. Into the pits comes Oliphant now. Look at the Heineke Daniel Haynes battle now. Haynes has got a good run. Heineke down Sasky straight now. Haynes trying to look up the inside now into the chicane. Heineke got defensive. Daniel's around the outside. No, Haynes has outbraked himself. And lost a big amount of time to Heineke. Lost about 1.2 seconds to him. And Oliphant is rejoined in 4th position. The Holden-Jones leadership battle. In fact, Holden-Jones has let leadership past. Team dynamic at play there. They've got Les Oliphant behind them, wanting to put a lap on Holden-Jones as quickly as possible. What's happened to Devon Lisher? Wow, he's down to 15th position. He was up there in 3rd. Or 4th position for a while, so Devon Lisher has had problems. Sucked damage to the front left of that Holden as well, and on the sides too. Jim Clark now leads by 15 seconds ahead of Langerfeldt. Got 22 laps remaining when Clark crosses the line. Judd White now closing the gap to Langerfeldt, just 0.8 of a second between these two. Of course, if you're watching this and you want to get involved in the racing at SimRace South Africa, you're welcome to visit our website at simracesa.co.za. Click on the Esports Leagues tab, and in there you'll find a sign-up forum, and that once you submit that, that'll come through to me by email, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And you could be racing in the Division 3 race this Wednesday evening. The Division 2 race, of course, also happening this Wednesday evening. Oh, big oversteer there for Judd White, but he hangs on to it, exiting the S's. These two pretty equally matched for the moment, Langerfeldt and Judd White. Great contest. Unfortunately, had nothing on Clark, who's 15 seconds up the road. Look at the Heineke Daniel Hens battle again, these two getting ever closer. Phantom Ghostworks leads Volante Racing. The battle for 7th, of course. Donington with a look up the inside, but decides against it. Not quite close enough to Heineke. These two driving really well. The end race sparks now under pressure from Wesley Ferrant. This is Redline leading Eco Racing. Lock up there for Sparks. Oh, Ferrant trying to get the inside line. Yes, he does do that. Ferrant goes through to 10th position. Good run here from Wesley Ferrant this evening. Great to see him back racing. I think this is his first race this season. Longer partners moved away from Judd White, that gap up to over 2 seconds. Heineke again under pressure from Daniel Haynes. Got Scott Pino recovering there from an off. Here comes Haynes there. Heineke a bit slow out of the S's. Haynes up the inside. Heineke's going to try it on the outside. Who's back on the power? Oh, and Daniel Haynes seizes 7th position. Yes, it's not Wesley Ferrant's first race this season. In fact, yes, he was in the Division 3 South African Sim GT race at Bathurst. Yes, that's correct. McCutcheon now under pressure from Devon Nisha. Just half a second in it. McCutcheon running wide. Oh, yes. Oh, almost makes contact there with Nisha. Nisha's wise to it. Side by side now into Goddard's. Oh, very defensive from Hodgson. Too defensive, I think. Makes it work for him though. Oh, contact. Fisher into the of Hodgson. So she gets a faster pair driving. Trying on the outside. No, Hodgson defends. Runs slightly wide. "15 laps remaining now." Now side by side with Hodgson. No, upside of it. We could run now into these straights. No, Hodgson survives yet again. Now puts the move in Hodgson. These two have got Leslie Oliphant coming up to put a lap on both of them. Oliphant, of course, in 4th position. And suddenly, I was under pressure from Timothy Haynes. These two back together. Osma, of course, put it a couple of laps earlier than Timothy Haynes. Timothy Haynes should have fresher tyres. There should be another battle to watch out for between these two. Back to our race leader, Jim Clark. Just put a lap on 2 cars behind him. Got the vid now under pressure from Lisha. Two sister teams together now. Not sure if the vid will make this difficult for Lisha. Let's see what happens. Lisha moves aside. Yeah, the vid moves aside for Lisha. Or not. Oh, it's a trip over each other somewhat. So David lets Oliphant past as well, of course. Good Mark Henneberry. The Phantom goes to its entry. Currently in 9th position is Mark. Having a decent run this evening. Just, 13 seconds behind teammate Heineke. Unfortunately for us, no battles happening at the moment on track with 9 laps remaining. Canterbury coming out a bit of pressure from that man Wesley Ferrant. The gap down to 1.5 seconds now. Ferrant breaks himself. This is a good 4/10 of a second there to Henneberry. Putting a lap on Alfie Fansel as well in the Ford. The Black Widow Ford. Back to our race leader now, Jim Clark, 16 seconds ahead of Langerveldt. Oh, he's slightly outbraked himself there, I think. He's lost a good half a second through the S's. Langerveldt Good second quicker than Jim Clark that last lap. Not sure if there's anything to read in there. This Clark did make the one error at the S's. Perhaps there was another one to make up that second deficit. Now under pressure from front. These two have rested a Clark, bearing down on them. Clark's just keeping at a distance. Oh, as his teammate front gets it all wrong. Oh, and he's lost a lot of time to Henneberry there. I'm just saying, I think the Clark was just biding his time behind the front, letting front try and get closer to Henneberry. Judd Watt in third position. Scott 14 seconds ahead of Leslie Oliphant. Five laps remaining now. Clark puts a lap on one of the Phantom Ghostface cars, Mark Henneberry. Clark still lapping decently. Let's have a look at what his lap time is now when he crosses the line. Is it 29.111? The Black Widow racing forward, Alfie Van Zyl. Great to see him in a Division 1 race as well as Black Widow, of course. And Alpha Francel currently in 17th position. Alpha Francel actually a real life racing driver, drives in the GTI club race, I think it's called the Kalani. Great to see him here in the Sim South Africa leagues. GTI Challenge, I think, is what I'm looking for. Francel is 30 seconds ahead of Scarpina in the Synergy Samurai. Holden. As it stands now, it'll be Clark and Absmeyer tied for the championship lead as the worst round falls away. And as Absmeyer won the first round and Clark looks like he's going to win this round. They'll be tied on points, 50 points each. Race leader now, Jim Clark. Looking just to bring the car home now, not pushing too hard. He's done all the hard work. Got Robert Walker there, just making room. Christopher Langeveld now has put a lap in Alpha Francel. And Langeveld with yet another second position to finish in second in the last South African Sim GT race at Bathurst in the Division 1 race, of course. Scheduled what in the squadron goes to Holden, of course. Defending South African Sim GD champion from last season, of course. Bashir Jadwat. Found in the secured RPF Ford number 187. Leading his teammate Jason Osmar, of course, and the number 90 Holden. We have the two brothers, Timothy Haynes in the Rebel Ghostworks Holden, leading Daniel Haynes in the Volante Racing Holden. 17 seconds between those cars. Clark is on the final lap of this race. And yet another dominant performance by Clark, of course, after winning the opening round of the South African simGT series at Bathurst. It will be a second victory in a row for him this evening. Round the hairpin for the final time towards Goddard's. Jim Clark accelerates to the line to take victory of round 2 of the 2019.1 South African simV8 series. Congratulations to him and Eco Racing. What a result. Mark Henbury will cross the line in 9th position. Peter Helnes will get 16th. Wesley Ferrand will get 10th. Christopher Langeveld will get a well-deserved 2nd position. Great drive by him. Robert Walker will get 20th. DeAndre Sparks 11th. Bashir Jadwat will complete the podium for Squadra Ghostworks. Alfie Van Zyl will get 17th. Here comes Devin Lisher. A bit disappointing for him. I think he would like to finish much higher up the order, I think. But he will get 12th position. Wesley Dalport will get 13th. Here comes Leslie Oliphant. Oh, there's a team switch around here. As Oliphant lets Jason Osmar by for 4th position. Oliphant, of course, gets 5th. Timothy Haynes, good result for him, 6th position. Scott Pino will get 18th. There comes Hugo de Wit for 14th. Daniel Haynes will get 7th. Nick Hodgson 15th. Brenton Zure 19th. Chris Heineke will get 8th position. There we go, that concludes the second round of the 2019.1 South African simV8 series. I'm Jason Holden-Jones. Thank you very much for watching with me. And until 2 weeks' time, we've got the second round of the 2019.1 South African simGP series. All the best until then. Goodbye.